interrupt this radio broadcast for a news break, live from the PressCorps World Headquarters in Sunhaven. This is PRSS and Ash Mayfield reporting. The war rages on in the 119th World Conquest as the Siva Valley conflict, pitting the Wardens of the North against Messian Southern legions. It is now day 461. Breaking news this weekend as brutal fighting in Callahan's Passage, colonial legions push northward, taking Whitechapel and Craigtown. Civilian authorities promise retribution. And as a reminder, the press corps is focused on the Able Shard. First, we're going to take a look at our casualty office. As of day 461, total combined casualties of the war stand just south of 4.2 million, with total colonial casualties at 2.11 million, and total ward losses at 2.05 million. The deadliest region, again, is Fahrenheit Coast, with total colonial casualties just north of 319,000 and total warden casualties just north of 287,000. Second deadliest region here is Callahan's Passage, as brutal fighting, as we've mentioned, has claimed the lives of 554, almost 555,000 total, with 290, almost 97, being of colonial, and 257,000 being warden casualties. Looking at our map here, war naval operations in Stamma Landing have seen them take several islands in the chain, securing most of the hex, and more fighting in Fahrenheit Coast as lines remain stagnant, increasing the death toll and resolve of both sides. A lighter day in King's Cage as casualties reach about 350 an hour for both sides on stagnant lines. As well, Colonial Special Operations Command confirms today that last night a team of commanders were deployed across the southern waterway just east of the Manacle and successfully conducted delaying operations and briefly took down the East Knife Relic base during the lull in fighting. Looking now to the center, heavy fighting in the Linn of Mercy as wardens push southwards towards Loch Moor, taking Hardline and Crimson Garden bases, leaving Lascaux the final line of defense before reaching Tomb of the First. And now to our top story, the brutal fighting in Callahan's Passage as colonial operations to push north has pushed wardens out of Craigtown and Whitechapel. Casualties there have topped over 1,000 dead per hour on each side today. This leaves only Solace Gorge as the final warden non-player base in the region. The mayor of Whitechapel, Fostaria, has released a press statement urging residents and civilians to shelter in place and stating, "Our hearts are with you and you will not be forgotten," additionally promising, and I quote, "A bloody wave of retribution comes for you, and we will finally spill over the walls and flood our city. You will regret ever losing or leaving the dissolution you call a home. Consider this your notice of eviction, and the Whitechapel administration always settles its accounts." And this comes from the mayor's office of the Whitechapel government in exile, currently seconded to the 27th Corps. An additional conflict in Marvin Hollow as colonial forces, no doubt flowing from secure lines in Callahan's Passage, are beginning to push to secure that hex as well. Looking to the east, Colonial and Warden maintain a continuous operations in Clastra today with no major changes. Allah's Bite, however, is seeing an uptick in Warden operations as casualties are just now reaching over 1,000 per hour for both sides as Wardens push to strengthen their eastern theater of operations. Additional fighting in Reavers Pass as colonial forces maintain their foothold in the south. Just then, an account from a Warden soldier, Leon Solaris. This was a submission from the Robert Loves Games Discord, and we want to thank them for their collaboration with giving us war submissions and stories from this World Conflict 119. Lists as day 444 to 445, and he says, I think. Reavers Pass, Fort Rictus. Warder So. At first, I did log in and fought as an infantryman nearby Fort Rictus. All was going well for us until colonial tanks, 5 at first from what I remember, came into the fight and started a counterattack against our positions that we were forced to cede ground to more defensible positions. In the first moments of the counterattack, I used an RPG and a bazooka to cause damage to the enemy tanks, but I think damages we cause in general against them. But this at least delayed their offensive until our own tanks came to reinforce us. I continued to play as infantry until I found a tank that needed a machine gunner, as we were still trying to delay the colonial assault, as only 2 tanks had come by now to reinforce us against a reinforced colonial offensive with 2 new tanks. At this point, it was a 2-7 battle in Rictus, and I joined them. At one point, the second tank was lost, but a light warden tank had come to reinforce us, and we were still outgunned by the enemy, now lacking ammunition and forced to cede more and more land. And then we were tracked, and the light tank was destroyed. That it did happen, it appeared all was lost. Then reinforcements came. At this point in the battle, became more ever, as the number of tanks in the fight were now 7 to 10. Here we did join the defenses and later counterattack. We were able to destroy 2 colonial tanks. After that, all there inside the tank decided that it was already too late into the night to continue the fight, and we decided to retire and give the tank to other soldiers to continue the struggle of Fort Rictus. Again, we want to thank Mr. Leon Solaris in the Robert Loves Games Discord for this submission today. Now to our Super Weapon Readiness Dispatch, also known as the Sword. As of today, on day 461, Warden High Command operates a total of 48 storm cannons and 22 intelligence centers, and for their part, the Colonial has maintained a force comprising of 36 storm cannons along with 16 intelligence centers. King Cage has once again been a hotspot for super weapons, as Warden's super weapon deployment in the area now outnumbers the Colonial deployment 2 to 1. Since our last dispatch, there has been no major changes, but a new dispatch will be available soon. And now, to the PressCorps Weather Chasers. Severe thunderstorm Rowan is still occurring in the north, and a severe thunderstorm warning is still in effect for the following areas: Callahan's Passage, the Moors, and Reaching Trail. Soldiers are advised to be wary of puddles and mud, which may hamper mobility. Additionally, a severe thunderstorm watch is still in effect for the following areas: Stone Cradle, the Linn of Mercy, Viper's Pit, Sableport, and the Heartlands. Heavy rain may occur without warning as severe thunderstorm Rowan continues above, and soldiers are cautioned that weather may cause issues. Our weather forecast would not be possible without the help of our volunteer storm chasers. If you would like to know more about the Storm Chaser Corps, please visit PressCorpsGaming.com/weather. The Press Corps reminds you to maintain good posture while sitting. Nobody likes a hurt lower back, and Lord knows the military can hurt your knees and your back. We also have opened up applications for regimental advertisements. Do you want to spread awareness of who you are? Join the Press Corps Discord to make a submission, and we'll handle the rest. We'd also like to extend a warm welcome to our freshly enlisted in our ranks who may have joined us for War 119 and the infantry updates. We hope to see you on the front lines. Be sure to stay tuned for more news, music, and weather together on 121.5 PRSS. Our next report will be out soon. For the Press Corps, I'm Ash Mayfield. Stay safe.
The Press Corps is an all-volunteer creative collective of reporters, broadcasters, artists, and more from the MMO video game Foxhole, developed by Siege Camp. Our mission is to engross our audience in and amplify the stories of this unique war ecosystem. The Press Corps was founded in 2018 by former Planetside 2 Radio Free Auraxis host, CaptainInArms. It is a separate community entity and is not officially representative of Siege Camp. For more information, visit our website at PressCorpsGaming.com. That's PressCorps Gaming.com.